Hey everyone, it's Tracy Martirana here from Holistic Wellness with Tracy. And today I'm inviting you into my kitchen while I make a spring version of hash and eggs. I love any recipe that you can change up with the seasons or even just with your mood. Previously, I have made an egg and hash video, and that was around fall, early winter, and I think I used sweet potatoes and black beans, and it was a very hearty, grounding hash. Today I'm lightening it up just a little bit for the season of spring. So I have some broccoli, I have asparagus, I have a jalapeno that isn't really very spicy, which is sad to me. I would like it spicier, but I have it, so I'll use it. I also have some snow peas, onion, potato. I'm just going to chop that all up, cook it up, add some eggs, and have a delicious spring-inspired breakfast. I'm going to start by getting some oil in my pan, getting the heat on, letting that warm up. And then I'm going to peel and chop my potato and get that cooking. And if I've never mentioned that I love this peeler, I will now. I will put a link to it in the description notes. It is my favorite kitchen utensil. I use it every day. Well, almost every day. So I'm just dicing up this potato. Cut anything into whatever size bites you like. I like it on the smaller side. But if you like a chunkier hash or a finer hash, adjust. Throwing a lid on there just to help soften up the potatoes. I could have cooked them ahead if I wanted. You could boil them. I'm just going to let them cook in the pan while I chop up everything else. So I'm just chopping up some onion. Now here I'm using a red onion and only half of one because that's what I have in my fridge. If I had my choice, I would have chosen probably a whole onion, and I probably would have chosen a yellow onion. But use what you have. Because I'm making this a spring dish, scallions would have been great if I had scallions or ramps. In a couple months, we will have ramps growing in our woods, and then I will be putting ramps in everything instead of onion. And if you've never had a ramp, it looks like a fat-leaved scallion, and it tastes sort of like onion and garlic mixed together. It's very pungent and very delicious, but it only grows, like, I think its season is probably only about a month long in the spring and only in very, very specific locations. So I'm also just chopping up a clove of garlic here, just doing a rough chop on it. Watching the fingers. Now in my refrigerator, I also have some fermented garlic, and I might add a clove of that at the very end because it's fermented. If I want to keep the ferment goodness, all the nice bacteria, I don't want to cook it. We'll see. We'll see how it tastes by then. If this is enough garlic, I won't overdo it, but I do like garlic. And this is a jalapeno that I had. We bought a bag of jalapenos, and all of them have been barely spicier than a bell pepper. I've been very, very sad with these. But I have it, so I might as well use it up. If you want to add pepper, but you're worried about the spice level, you can cut it in half first and remove the membrane and the seeds. That'll decrease the spice. Stir around these potatoes. Ooh, I can hear them. Adding a little salt and pepper. Potatoes require salt. And in my mind, everything tastes better with pepper. And I'm stirring these around a little bit because they want to stick. And I don't want them to burn, but I don't mind if they get a little crunchy either. So I just want to make sure I don't burn them. And move them out to the center. And add a little more oil to the center of my pan and add in the onion and the pepper to cook up a little bit. Oops, lots of potato. And the garlic. Let's throw it all in. I just want to be careful not to burn the garlic, so I'll have to keep stirring. The heat has been turned down, and while that's cooking away a little bit more, I will chop the rest of my veggies. So I have just a little bit of broccoli. I'm just going to chop this up really into tiny little pieces. If you have more, use it. That's one thing I love about this recipe. Not only is it good for switching up season to season, but it's also just great for cleaning out your refrigerator. Finding whatever you have in there, adding it to the hash. Now these are already trimmed, but I will probably just trim off this little end just in case I didn't do a good enough job the first time, because I don't want to end up with a crunchy stem. And same here too, you can use as much or as little as you want. If I happen to really like asparagus, so I'm using almost a whole bunch because I have a couple bunches here. But that'll be nice and yummy. So I'm adding in some snow peas that I've cut in half, but I'm also going to add in a small amount of frozen peas just because, well, I love the pea pods. I also like just the pea itself. And I happen to have some in the freezer. We'll say about a cup. Let's check on our potato mixture here. That's how it's looking. potatoes are still a little crunchy. They're getting close. I think they could use a little more salt and pepper. I know sometimes it might look like I use a lot of salt, but when you're just pinching it out with your hands, it really isn't that much. It looks like a lot, but the amount is much smaller than you might think. The potatoes are looking beautiful. Let me just show you. Look at a nice little brown bits, looking very yummy. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some of the other veggies. So again, I'm gonna kind of clear out the center, pushing the potatoes out towards the edge so I can add a little more oil. And then I will start with the broccoli and asparagus. Now these veggies don't need much cooking time at all. Really just enough to maybe soften up a little bit, warm them through. I'm also going to take this time to spice it a little bit more. Not really spice it, flavor it. And just a little bit of rosemary. I'm just sprinkling some in. I don't know, it's probably half a teaspoon maybe. And just a little bit of cayenne. Just because I said I knew my other pepper was really, really mild. Mix this all together. Soon I'll be adding the peas, and then I want to also top it off with some fresh parsley. So I'm just going to pull some of this out, remove some of the big stems. Chop this up. It smells great. That rosemary just added an extra little layer of flavor. If you don't like rosemary, you can clearly just change up and use whatever you like. You could add more garlic. You could add a little basil. Dill would be good in here as well. Top with all my peas. And I decided I am going to add a little bit of my fermented garlic. So this is just a little jar of garlic that's been sitting in salt water. I have it weighted down with a glass weight and a piece of onion. And then I just have these delicious, beautiful pickled / fermented. They're actually, I say they're pickled because they taste pickled, but I didn't use vinegar. They just soaked in the salt water. So they're really tasty. I'm going to go ahead and just crush one of those in. I'm going to not go too far with these though, because I have another plan to use them later. And I just let them ferment on my counter for several days until I felt they were fermented enough, and then moved them in the refrigerator. I do keep them on a plate just so it doesn't get messy. And now we're going to cook the eggs. So I'm only going to do 2 eggs. I'm going to just clear a couple little spaces for them. They're probably going to stick a little bit because my pan has got a little bit of, I'm going to say, gummed up from the potatoes. But clean it up as best I can. Add a little more oil. I have a couple mismatched eggs. You get a brown egg, and a white egg. See if anybody can taste the difference. There is no difference. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper to my eggs. Lower my temperature a little bit, put the lid on, and let those cook. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Tracy Martirana, and I use my knowledge of nutrition, herbs, Ayurveda, yoga, and meditation to bring you information and inspiration to help you live a healthy, happy, and balanced life. If you haven't already, check out my blog on my website, holisticwellnesswithtracym.com. I will put a link in the description box below. I have plenty of posts on all subjects related to holistic wellness, so I think you will find something useful there. There's something for everyone. And if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button, watch some of my videos, like them, share them with your friends. Doing so lets YouTube know that people are interested in content like mine. Thanks and have a great day.